What is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. The big man next to me, Mr. Ben Troupe, and my good friend, Mr. Marvin Powell, right underneath us. How are you fellas doing this morning?
Good, man. Always good. Always good.
Happy to be here, man. Blessed, feeling good.
Yes.
My Falcons winning games that don't matter now. Now I didn't want to play football. I don't. They get on my nerves. That's what they do.
Hey, y'all beat the Bills earlier in the
year. We win them. Yeah, we sit around Christmas talking about what we are the what could have been. So that's what we do. Welcome to another episode of what could have been.
You got your defense is second in the league in sacks to boot. I think they're I think they got like 48, 49 sacks this season, something like that.
They up there. Then Raheem Morris, head coach of the Falcons, looking in the camera, talking. What are you talking trash about, Raheem? Like what? Calm your behind. I love Raheem because I have to, because he's the Falcons. It's not because I want to. And I was with the Bucks when Raheem Morris, when there was that whole debacle when they fired John Gruden. He went from the DB coach to the defensive coordinator to the head coach in like a week. It was crazy. All that stuff. Love Raheem Morris, man, but you win games when it don't matter. And I don't agree with tanking, by the way. I don't agree with tanking for a player because you were trying to learn how to win.
For anybody, it's a simple fact.
Yeah.
They won.
If anything, all they're going to do is going to help the Rams at this point in time.
Look,
we thought we was helping Carolina. Then they can't beat New Orleans. So the NFC South is a mess. That's all I'm gonna say. It is a mess. Yeah. And with these last 2 games of the season, gonna be dope.
NFC South is a mess, and the NFC West and North is literally the creme de la creme of the divisions right now, man. It's have you seen the playoff picture? Have you seen the guys that have seen the playoff picture yet, dude? It's nuts, right? Yeah. You literally have wild card slots with 11, 10, 9 wins. I mean, come on.
Look at Carolina. Look at Carolina. I'm so sick of that 6-7-1, that 1% chance for them Dallas Cowboys to potentially get.
It's gonna be over this week. We'll officially put them out their misery after we see the Commanders. Sunday.
Any given Sunday, Steve. Hold on.
Yeah, it is any given Sunday.
Mariota trying to put tape together. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this much. I'm not going to completely overlook them. It's another one of those you should games, but it's a divisional game. Marcus Mariota is a professional. He's a mobile quarterback, and if you looked at it, that's one of the things that's only really given us those problems this year. Jackson Dart with his mobility. Bo Nix with his mobility. It's it's been a rough one, but now let me get into this, right? Obviously, we just looked at that's going to kind of get me into this next thing. Yo, man, the NFC is going to be decided Thursday night. The number 1 slot is going to be decided Thursday night with the Rams and the Seahawks going at it on Thursday Night Football. But here's the crazy stat for you, is that Matthew Stafford has not lost to the Seattle Seahawks since becoming a Los Angeles Ram. He's 6-0 as the Rams quarterback against Seattle. Now, granted, they're going to Seattle, so we're going to have to see what would happen there. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think Seattle can retake the division and conference lead for all intents and purposes? When Friday morning rolls around, how do you feel about this one? Let's start it off with Marvin.
Listen, the fact that Stafford is 6-0 versus the Seahawks since coming to the Rams doesn't really surprise me. I think this guy, he was an elite quarterback coming out of college. I think he was a really good quarterback in Detroit. But it's just an example of when you have a great quarterback and you put him with a good organization, put him with a good team, you have a chance to see what he can really be. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of these guys, so I don't think, again, all these quarterbacks that we've had go number 1 or early or bust. The ones who haven't made it. I don't put it all on them. I think they went to trash organizations who are used to constantly getting top picks, which means they're not good teams. Stafford was able to put up numbers in Detroit. Never, didn't win a lot. Had a losing record in Detroit. A few playoff appearances, but nothing major. You put him with a real head coach. You put him with some real players out there. I know he had Megatron, but I mean as a whole, offense, defense, special teams, and leadership. Leadership being number one. Leadership at the head coach position. Leadership with the GM. Leadership, with ownership. Those people are aligned. You have a competent team. You put an elite quarterback in there, and yeah, he'll put up those kind of numbers. So it doesn't shock me, even though he played against Pete Carroll in those years, and right now the Seahawks got Sam Darnold, who he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. I believe he was a Pro Bowl quarterback in Minnesota. I think he was second or third team. Nevertheless, he can play. You know what I mean? So you got him up there with a defensive-minded head coach, a good organization. Anything can happen in this game. I would have to lean with Stafford, to be honest with you, just because of what they're doing. But Seattle's no joke, led by Darnold.
What are your thoughts, Ben? Can Seattle dethrone the Los Angeles Rams and take over the number one spot in both their division and the conference?
I think they can, but I don't think they will, because I think what happens is when you talk about a guy like Matthew Stafford seems, I think he was the youngest player to 20,000. I think he was the youngest player to like 30, 40. I think he's over like 60,000 yards passing. It's never been about Matthew Stafford's talent. Matthew Stafford was a really, really good quarterback on a really, really bad Detroit Lions team. And he just Detroit did to him what sometimes organizations won't do. They let him leave. They switched. I mean, obviously Jared Goff came to Detroit. He went out there with the Rams. He's the reason why Sean McVay has a Super Bowl, even though he got to play with Cooper Kupp. Jared Goff played with Sean McVay, didn't have Cooper Kupp. But I think the thing about Matthew Stafford is, man, he a gamer. Matthew Stafford be like, look, dude, I missed the entire preseason. People's like, how am I going to look? They're 11-3. I mean, Puka Nacua is one of the best receivers in the league, and he's not a burner. Like, he's not a really, really fast guy. But in that offense, it's not the offense, it's the quarterback delivering him the ball in that offense. They say, Puka, just trust me. If you don't believe me, not to add insult to injury, Kyle Pitts as a rookie had over 1,000 yards. Not because he's Kyle Pitts, because he had Matt Ryan. If you don't think the quarterback will help these players develop. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really good game. I mean, Coach McDonald and what he's done, in a very, very short time as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, I mean, people ain't talking about it enough. That Seattle defense will hurt you. Leonard Williams and Ernest Jones and those guys, they'll get at you. But the thing about Matthew Stafford is this. Man, this is the same Matthew Stafford that almost beat your Eagles last year, right? They didn't do it, but that's how good of a player Matthew Stafford is. We finally get a good game on Thursday night. But some of these games, you'd be like, dude, like they just throwing anybody in these slots. It's gonna be for NFC supremacy as well as NFC West supremacy when you talk about two teams with 11-3. But I just think Matthew Stafford is Sam Darnold hopes to become what Matthew Stafford is, and that is consistent. Matthew Stafford is about as consistent of a football player. Don't mean he's gonna win all the games. But Sean McVay let Matthew Stafford hit the market. He knew he was coming back. He's like, go ahead. Because Sean McVay they don't know you like I know you. They're not gonna put you in position like I can. Because they got a balance of both young and old. You got Devontae Adams, you got Puka Nacua. But let me tell you what Matthew Stafford and company really got. They will unleash them tight ends. So they got three tight ends that can hurt. They'll go out there with three tight ends and they can run a full passing game and they run the game. So I like the matchup. I think Matthew Stafford, man, whatever Ben Gay, icy hot, he gonna need a lot of it because he gonna get hit a lot. I just think when you talk about the chess match, I give it to the Rams because while Seattle is getting back to what they were, Sean McVay is one of the best coaches in the league. And I think that what he can do on offense with that, before the snap, pre-snap, but Cooper Kupp is a Seattle Seahawks. So they trying to ask him hey, man, what you think they're going to try to run on this play? He said, it don't matter what they try to run. You got to stop Matthew. You got to stop Staff. Matthew Staff, him. So, yeah, It's not gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a 4-quarter game, but I still give the edge to the Rams because the Rams are saying, look, Matthew Stafford is 37 years old. His best years are definitely behind him.
So
So
it don't matter no Devontae this week?
No, because I don't think they built that offense around one dude. I mean, Puka Nacua got hurt throughout the course of the year, and it didn't matter. They still kept winning, and that's a sign of a good team. When I don't build my team, now the quarterback, you build your team around. I get that, but you don't build it around skill players around him. And Devontae Adams, I mean, Devontae Adams, he makes his money when you get 5 yards, 10 yards in the red zone. That's where he make his money. I mean, Devontae Adams is the greatest receiver I've ever seen at creating separation with 1 yard to go. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So they'll find a way to, Williams at running back. They got a real good running back over there. But Seattle ain't no slouch now. I mean, there's a young man that went, that by the name of Jackson Smith and Nick. But you're gonna have to do something with him. That dude is playing like Jamar Chase in them, and he's only. It seems like Jackson Smith been in the league about 5 years. He's 23.
Yeah.
He's that young doing what he's doing. So it's going to be a great chess match. Cooper Kupp going up against his old team, Jackson Smith, Coach McDonald, Sean McVay, the 12th man. But I still give it – I give it to experience over an upstart. I think the experience of Matthew Stafford and understanding the situation, he said, dude, we got to score one more point to them. That's it. I don't care how we do it. Let's do it. If it's 12-11, if it's 28-27. So I get that. But like I said, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, and that defense, you better find a way to keep up Matthews, because I know Matthew Stafford is a battle tester. He don't get hurt a lot, but they going to test every bone he got in that 37-year-old body. They going to be hitting him. And hitting him early, hitting him often, but I still give it slightly to the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. They're gonna keep it. It doesn't matter. They're going to Seattle. They've proved they can win it at home and on the road. It's gonna take an elite team, and it's not like Seattle's like these young pups over there. They got some guys that can play. Darnold. It's Darnold's first year there, and he's already got them. 11-win team right now. That's I don't think anyone would have thought, after the changeover that Seattle had, that we were going to see them in this position, being able to test the 11-win Rams and potentially, kind of steal the division and the conference from them all in one game as we're down to the last 3 weeks here. But I'm with you. I'm leaning towards the Rams. For all the reasons that both of you guys mentioned. But Seattle needs to be given credit for the turnover that they've done and what they put on the field this year. So, want to make sure we give some note to that. And guys, if you haven't tuned into a Thursday night game at all this season, this is probably one of those games you want to tune in on Thursday night. Absolutely. Now, we've seen a lot of stuff going on this season, right? And the injury bug has been insanity. Especially you've seen what 2 superstars go down last week, but in all intents and purposes, the ACL tear is the big thing this week. But for all intents and purposes, the frequency of these injuries is actually been going down. I mean, obviously, 2013 we had 63 players go down with ACL tears. Now, granted, 30 and counting at this point in time is still nothing to kind of shoo away, but it sucks when you losing your top guys to these big injuries. I guess we'll start with Ben on this one. How are you feeling about the overall health factor going in? How many guys we're losing compared to in years past?
It's normal. The only reason why people care about it more this year is because it's bigger names. With Michael Parsons and Bosa, when all these guys going out, people care. And obviously when the face of the NFL goes out for a torn ACL, torn ACLs happen every week. But most of the time, it's the third string tight end, it's the backup guard. People ain't really going crazy over. But remember this: The two guys that shaped the NFL more than any quarterback you ever seen was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Peyton Manning missed a whole season because of the nerve damage in his neck. You can't hit a quarterback high. Tom Brady missed a whole season with his knee. You can't hit a quarterback low. I guarantee you, with Patrick Mahomes going out for ACL, they're gonna be like, "Hey, dude, we got to protect them even more." Because let's face it, the quarterbacks are the faces of the league, and that's not diminishing everybody else's value. It's just when big names like Parsons, Bosa, Malik Neighbors. Oh man, when Patrick Mahomes didn't get up, you know how many near misses Patrick Mahomes have every week? His knee almost buckles every week. It finally buckled, and
I thought that was a weird injury too. Like
it was. Yeah, it is, and it was. But I will say, the fact that more football players don't have torn ACLs, like most of the guys in the league, we almost had them. We have a hyperextended knee or something like. I've never had lower extremity injuries. I've had like foot problems. I've never had the knees. And I remember when torn ACLs took you out. That used to be the Achilles. Now it's torn ACL. They say guys' knees come back stronger because they say when they open your knee up, it's a lot of damage in there. Yeah, you tore this, but dude, look at this and look at this. So they say you usually come back stronger. But when it's Micah Parsons, when it is, Patrick Mahomes in the same weekend, people like, dude, all of a sudden now player safety is a problem. No, it's football. And as much as we want to talk about surfaces, as much as we want to talk about certain players, a trainer told me one time, he said, dude, guys that big don't supposed to be able to move like that. Not consistently. Guys that big moving like that? A guy can run as fast as he can and stop on a dime and go the other way. People can't do that. He said, most people can't even run fast. Y'all can run fast. Football is left, right, start, stop, in and out. I mean, and sometimes your knee lets you know, dude, you got one more break. You got one more, comeback. You got one more drop back. Mm-hmm. And quarterbacks are the only players that got to throw a football with a 250-pound or 300-pound man about to barrel down on them, and they stand right there. So it's football, though. I'm not gonna make it about these big name guys because I take it away from the no name guys, and those guys are just as important. So I'm sorry that it happened to him, but football is a collision sport, and
I think this is Patty's first big one, and I think the ironic thing is, everyone wants to have him in those GOAT conversations. Didn't Tom Brady tear his ACL in his 9th year after winning a 3rd Super Bowl too?
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, it's something weird. Patrick Mahomes plays football in a fearless way. You see the way he plays. Yeah. The fact that he don't, and I think he does that to keep because he could have gotten hurt a lot of times. I'm not asking for nobody to get hurt. No. Let me say this: everybody's hurt in football. He got injured. Injured is when you can't play. Hurt is when you can. Everybody hurt. Like if you go to a training room on a Wednesday to a Friday, it's standing room only. Ain't no open tables. What? Man, guys in there getting. I learned what acupuncture was when I got to the league. I said, "Oh, that's what them little needles are." Yeah, that's what you about to do. What? So it's. Maintenance in the National Football League is so you could do a Netflix documentary on maintenance because certain guys they have to do it. I mean, Marvin played fullback. It should be mandatory. It should be like, hey man, all fullbacks you have mandatory massages twice a week. It is because have you seen? Listen, have you seen what a shoulder blade can do if you keep on? This thing can turn all kind of ways. Yep. It's crazy, right? And don't even get me started about the fingers. So, hey, I salute football players are warriors, man. We just don't carry swords and shields, man. That's what they out there doing, and you got to respect it. I respect it, and like I said, Patrick Mahomes, he is Patty Mahomes. I get it. Yeah. He'll come back stronger, or he won't. Because guess what? Are they playing football this Sunday? Oh, that's right. They are. So the game will go on. You just hope that he comes back strong, and we'll see what type of it might be the first time in his career he comes back without Travis Kelce, because I don't think Trav coming back. We'll see.
I agree with that. Marvin, what are your thoughts? The percentage of seeing these ACL injuries this season is actually down. It's actually
right.
down.
Yeah. To start off, just kind of following up with what Ben said, he's absolutely right. At this point in the season, everybody's hurt. There's not one player on any roster that's not dealing with something small or a little bit bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to play, big time college football, NFL, you better learn to play hurt, which is different than playing injured. Listen, this thing, with these ACLs. I mean, back when my dad played in the 70s and the 80s, they didn't say ACL. They just said you blew your knee out. You know what I'm saying? And you was done. That was it. They didn't have, sports science has evolved so much. Now you have Adrian Peterson, blowing his knee out and coming back that 9 months later to lead out a 2,000-yard season, So, yeah, the knees definitely come back strong. You see that now. I think this says a lot about a few things. Number one, you see how recently the NFL has taken over the grounds for all NFL stadiums.
We literally just talked about this last week.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So that decision, that's from a totality of things that have happened where they realize that, number one, it's safer for the player. If it's safer for the player, we're going to have the player longer. Like Ben said, it's not really an issue until your stars go down. You know what I mean? Because this is a star-driven without question. So, that's it. You also have to wonder, they've gone away from 2-a-day practices, and I get that. But the thing about practice, man, in football is, the human body is not made for football. The human body is not made for football. So the stuff that you do in training and in practice and in the weight room, that stuff, it counts and it matters, and I think it builds your body up to a degree. I saw that number that you had at 60, 63 or 65 ACLs back in 2013. Yeah. And I'm trying to think back, when did the NFL go to 1 practice a day versus 2 practices a day? And what were the injuries from that? Because, bodies just not being, really prepared the way you should be. Because even when you lift weights and you run, you still have to get in football shape. You know what I mean? And that involves a lot. So, that's really my thoughts on that, man. Again, just, thank God for sports science, man. But yeah, this is a game where they need their star players out there. Those sponsors want those star players out there. The people who paying Pat Mahomes, that $50 million just for endorsements, want him out there. So everybody has a reason to keep these guys upright, keep these guys healthy. The NFL taking over the grounds for every stadium is a big part of that. And, as we continue to move forward in sports science and we figure out, the most efficient way to prepare and practice and to get the body ready for football, as we do that, we'll see less of those. But when you look at the game itself and all the twists and turns you make every play and how you're blocking here and stepping here and getting stepped on and getting rolled on, this is part of the game, man. And it's inevitable and it's going to keep happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I want to bring this up, because we were literally just talking about this last week, how they're taking the types of turf and fields that you're going to be able to play off out of the team's hands starting in 2027. But I think if you're a Chiefs fan, the one thing you can be happy about is he's already had the surgery. He's not going to have to wait for his knee to swell up like a balloon. And
he had it the next day, right? Didn't he have it the next day?
Yeah, it was. But
you early in the morning. You see the difference in priorities. They're like this. You shut down. Let's get it started. And no, the most pressure the Kansas City Chiefs training staff has ever had is right now. Because now they got him, which they gon' no pressure, man. And look, I love all the analysts out there. We are content creators. We are podcasters. We are not doctors.
The analysts. I got a good one for you to go right.
No, I'm saying because everybody's saying I don't think he's going to play in 2026. Patrick Mahomes not going to play football in 2026. All right, okay.
But when is he ready, Ben? Is he ready in training camp? No.
It'll probably be like week 5 or something like that.
Right. Well, Marvin, you know how it is, Marvin. Listen, your body first. If you miss a training camp, body don't really feel it. Second week, game week, you be like this. Hey, I'm all right, right? Because it's something about them real, but I think for a Patty Mahomes, they're saying they're gonna err on the side of caution. They're gonna wait till the date when they have to report. Them players them pup list guys, it's going to be the day before the opening kickoff. They're going to be like, all right, we're going to put them on pup.
Yep.
4 games. Because, 4 games in the season, you still got 13 games left. You'll be fine.
Said it, and Eddie said it too. He's going to miss the first month of next season.
Absolutely.
Don't be too upset. But as we're sitting here talking about the analyst, King Pom Pom cheerleader Nick Wright already has something to say. Whoever wins this year's Super Bowl is going to have an asterisk because you can't actually win and earn without playing the Chiefs in the playoffs. Can we stop? Can we stop with it? Like Nick needs to change his name to Nick Wrong. It ain't Nick Right. He's wrong. He needs to stop with this. Like, I get it. You like the Chiefs. This is the ebb and flow of what football is from time to time. This is the first year we're gonna have an AFC playoff that doesn't have Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and or now Patrick Mahomes, or probably it looks like Lamar Jackson ain't gonna be there either. So, and they're all technicalities. If the Buffalo Bills don't make it to the Super Bowl, they're never gonna do it, right? You're not going to have Joe Burrow there. So that means this is the easiest pass that Josh Allen have. So to sit there and say, because the Chiefs aren't there, whoever winds up coming out of the AFC has an asterisk. Nick Wright needs to stop sometimes and put his media cap back on and take his fan hat back off. Because that is a ridiculous statement. I don't care. Who gets in is who earned their way to get in. There should be no asterisk on nothing. I mean, I'm going to start off on Marvin on this one. What are your thoughts on?
Listen. Right now, this is the Chiefs' era. Or at least it has been. You know what I'm saying? And we've been here before. The Packers had their time. The Niners, had their time a couple times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've Tom Brady, went through 2 runs really up in New England, winning 3 Super Bowls in a few years.
3 because when he went down to Tampa Bay too.
Right, but I'm talking about teams that were actual dynasties, if you will, who really was running the show. And right now it's the Chiefs' time. People, it may be over for good. You don't. I mean, a lot of key players ain't going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Next year, they have to really reload. You know what I mean? Listen, Nick is a huge Chiefs guy. I mean, he's emotional. As much as he's a professional, it's in his heart. You know what I'm saying? All of us have them teams and them programs. That one team or that one program that's just in our heart. We can't get out. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel him on that, man. But no, there's no asterisk. Listen, I'm one of these guys. Pat Mahomes, you have to show me that you're really that guy. And he came out the gate showing us, because when he got in there that second year after Alex Smith retired or left after his injury, Pat was on fire out the gate. So he showed me through the championships and the MVPs that he's that guy. I absolutely believe that when you have a quarterback, when you have an elite quarterback at that you always have a chance. That's a well-ran organization. So I do believe that the Chiefs are going to have their time again. But this NFL ain't no joke, man. These teams is real. It ain't easy to win games out there. And you got other teams who coming up with their young quarterbacks as well. You get Josh Allen being one of them. I mean, listen, this thing is passed around. You know what I'm saying? And Josh Allen sees opportunity. These other young quarterbacks in this league, hopefully see opportunity, and they realize that with the Chiefs being in that situation where they got players retiring, players going to be leaving. Pat's hurt. How does he come back from that? Man, this is a great time if you that other organization, if you are the Bills, you know what I'm saying? If you are a team with a good young gun quarterback, Broncos, this is your time to make that run and let people know. But yeah, Nick is just being emotional, man. The Chiefs aren't the team for everybody. Not everybody's looking at them like that. They got their trophies, but man, any given Sunday, this is anybody's game. And is the Chiefs era over? Maybe. We'll see.
Ben, your thoughts on Nick Wright's asterisk comment?
Man, they must have had a production meeting and said, man, we need some clicks. And what can I say to get us some clicks, man? Yeah. Number one, I mean, in certain communities, the proper way to say it, who you talking to, I'm looking at them, I mean, who is you? What you mean? Because it's going to be asterisk because you said it.
Right.
No. The NFL has caught up. It's a young man's game. So the NFL, they did come through the Chiefs. They put them out. The league, a collective effort, got them out of there. Hey, dude, we don't want to have to deal with them postseason, so let's get rid of them during the regular season. Now, well, if you don't got to go through the Chiefs, man, you better look at what's going on in the rest of the AFC. Why don't you want to talk about Denver? Because you ain't expect Denver to be the class. Why don't you want to talk about the Chargers? I mean, when it comes to a guy like Nick Wright is like Chris Collinsworth when it comes to Patrick Mahomes. These dudes, they like, how many times can I say something about these quarterbacks? It's like, when it's like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman doing all the Dallas Cowboy games back when, Troy Aikman, all he want to do is talk about Tony Romo. Back in my time in Dallas, we know Troy. We know. But certain guys are that polarizing. I mean, look at the way some of these analysts talk about anything Aaron Rodgers does. Anything. Oh, my God, he threw a pass, and the guy caught it. He's brilliant. It's just certain guys love certain players, and they don't hide it, and I respect it. But an asterisk? No. Ain't no asterisk, bro. And whoever wins it this year, they would have earned it. The NFL is getting better. You got teams that Denver used to be one of them dominant teams. They kind of fell off. Now they coming back. And no one saw the Kansas City Chiefs having this type of run, and it's been epic. It's been epic. But to say it's going to be an asterisk, come on, Nick Wright. Like, Nick Wright is good. Nick Wright, his last name might as well be Kardashian, man. That boy like clicks. He love it. If ain't nobody talking about Nick Wright enough, what can I say to get clicks? You know who gets you clicks by just being themselves is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts be dominating these press conferences. And he got to do it in Philadelphia media. That's gonna say exactly what they're thinking.
Well, we're gonna get to Jalen Hurts in the Philadelphia media in the second hour. I'm gonna sit there and I agree. I think that Nick's doing this for clicks. He's being emotional and everything in between. But do want to kind of switch gears here and get to some college football. Obviously, the main topic for today's show was Notre Dame's in the news for other news right now because their Heisman Trophy candidate, star running back Jeremiyah Love is declared for the NFL draft. And he's probably seen the writing on the wall. Like, well, I'm not going to be in any championship games or bowl games. Might as well go to the big show. And then when you look at over the past handful of years, so he's had one of the better performances as a running back. Obviously, we've seen. This year's top pick, Alshon Jeffrey, is having one of the best ones. Jonathan Taylor's on this list. Ben's Bijan Robinson's on the list, and then you got Jeremiyah Love. From the outside looking in, you see this guy potentially being a top 5 pick. Where do you guys feel that he's going to end up on this scale, being as he's one of the first declared? And let's start with Ben on this one.
He won't be a top 5 pick because the National Football League doesn't respect running backs the way it should. Would he be a top 15 pick? Yeah, because most of these teams are going to be drafted in the top 15, and one thing they're going to lack, well, the biggest thing they lack is culture, but the one thing they really lack is a consistent running game. Jeremiyah Love can run the rock. I mean, if you've seen him play, it's going to be hard for a running back to win the Heisman because it's a quarterback award. It's going to be hard for a running back to do it. But Jeremiyah Love, he's nice. And when you think about teams like, you're going to have the Browns. You're going to have the Titans. You're going to have New Orleans. You're going to have the Jets, right? You're going to have the Giants. And people will say, well, why would the Giants get Jeremiyah Love when they just got Scatterboo? Where's Scatterboo at? Oh, he's on Twitch drinking freaking Powerade out of a cleat. That's what he's doing right now. He's at WWE events.
He's doing a shoey.
Jeremiyah Love is a classy individual, and call it what it is. I mean, he's a part of one of the biggest brands of college football, Notre Dame, and he did it on the field though. So yeah, I definitely think he'll be a top 15 pick. I mean, you look at what Hampton, the rookie out of North Carolina, has meant to the Chargers, even though he's been hurt this year. First round running backs are rare if you can find a way to get him the rock. People gonna say, man, what about Ashton Jeanty? He plays for the Raiders. That's what happened to Ashton Jeanty. He plays for the Raiders. And I don't know anybody doing anything significant on the Raiders. But I like Jeremiyah Love. I like his build. I like the way he runs the football. He has a clip a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was in the national championship or what.
Eddie, don't wish that upon me. I don't want to see that.
I would love to get
not at all. Not at all.
I don't want you to
Jeremiyah Love would not love to see himself in Dallas. Stop it.
But yeah, he'll definitely be a first round pick. I'm interested to see how fast he is when he does go to the combine. I'm interested to see, how big he really is. But look, you don't play in a place like Notre Dame when you duck and smoke. You don't play in a place like Notre Dame when you fear competition. And I like how he handled himself in the Heisman Trophy situation. Diego, you can learn from a guy like Jeremiyah Love, and don't say things like "F the voters" because you didn't get your votes, which is crazy. But yeah, Jeremiyah Love has said this: I've done all I can do in college football. I've made good money. I've helped. I didn't really help elevate Notre Dame. You can't really elevate Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame. But I've helped. I didn't bring any negative attention to the reputation of Notre Dame. I've only done the right things, said the right things, and I did my talking on the field. Now it's time to move on to bigger and better. And I like his chances, but he will be a top 15 pick if they ain't hating. If they ain't hating, as far as like scouts and how we look at the running back position, I think this young man is going to make a roster really, really better at the running because I like the character that he has and he plays hard. So you can't and he might go to a team if you go to a team with a fullback. I'm telling you, a running back's great best friend is not an offensive coordinator and it's not an O-line. It's a fullback. That's your eyes. Just ask Emmitt Smith. Ask Emmitt Smith about Moose. I'm just telling you. Ask LaDainian Tomlinson about Lorenzo Neal. I'm telling you, man, fullbacks don't get me started on the fullback position.
Speaking of fullbacks, Marvin, what are your thoughts on Jeremiyah Love's declaring for the draft?
Yeah, Ben's right. I mean, we've seen how the league has devalued these running backs in free agency and even with the draft, but Jeremiah is different. He is an old school back. He's a lead back. He's a guy that you don't need to split time with him. He's a day one starter. He's a guy you draft at some point in the first round. And if you have an O-line, if you have a bit of a passing game, if you have a plan to run that ball, he's exactly what you want. Powerful runner, explosive, plays low to the ground. This dude ripped. I mean, he had over 200 yards against my Trojans. I mean, and this guy looked like a stud. I mean, he was getting for almost 10 yards a carry. He is the back that you prioritize. He's not just one of a few guys who are pretty good. He is the elite for this year. And I think when you look at the list of running backs that are on that list, I don't have a problem putting him up there and saying that he's worthy of being on that list for what he did in college. I think Jonathan Taylor was a little bit different, but Jeremiyah Love is absolutely worthy of a first-round pick. Probably, I would be shocked if he went outside the top 15, just because of the fact that he is an impact runner. He's a guy who's physical and pass blocking. I've watched him. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He hits the hole. He can cut back. He has speed. So yeah, he's definitely in that class of guys that you want to bring in there if you need instant run game right now, and you're built for that in other areas. So yeah, he's a dog. It doesn't shock me to see that his PFF grade is right up there with other guys who have done well in the NFL or showed flashes. You look at Gentry, but again, like Ben said, he's on the Raiders. Gentry is the real deal. He is. That boy can play. He's just in a horrible situation. So yeah, I'm a Love fan. He's the real deal, and you will see him starting for someone in the NFL next year. Absolutely. And listen, Notre Dame doesn't help themselves in the fact that again they're choosing to be independent, get that independent money versus winning championships. Not being in a conference hurt them. Listen, their head coach feels it. He ain't liking the fact that he's out here busting his butt and can't win a championship because of their business arrangement. And the players see that too. Recruits see that too. That's a real thing. I think Jeremiyah Love was going to the NFL regardless, but knowing that they put up a season where they should have made the playoffs, he should have had he should have had a second season here in the playoffs, and he won't be featured in the playoffs. I get why he's why that adds to the let's go to the NFL. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah, I'm with both of you here. I don't think if he falls out of the top 15,
no way.
Something I would be very surprised. I do, however, think that wherever the Giants do, they're going to trade out of which would put them maybe in a position to get him in the backside of that first round. You never know. You know,
him and Scatterbull, you like that?
He may not make it past 3. You never know. We could see the Tennessee Titans grabbing him. You don't know. You know,
we don't. The Titans don't make the decision like that. Come on, stop. What are we doing? Like we don't.
That'd be great for Cam Ward, though. Great for Cam Ward.
That would be.
That's what I was thinking.
That would be great for
Cam Ward. That's a dangerous.
Him and Tony Pollard. Yeah, man, that'd be great for him. I mean, Let me say this. I don't know. Yes, quarterback might be the hardest position to transition from college to pro. Running backs, people don't understand. They got to learn how to pick up the blitz. They'll say, look, the only thing that's going to keep us from having a long season is you not picking up that blitz. The franchise is standing right next to you. And you take care of him, he going to take care of you. Forget what the OC says. You take care of that QB, he going to say, I'll get you the rock. Don't worry. Why? Because I can audible out any play. I have the ability to audible out. And I'd rather them say, what are you doing? All you got to do is when I give you that ball, dance with it. That's it. But Jeremiyah Love is a good player. And he's done all he could do in college. I ended up a Heisman Trophy finalist. What people don't realize is ain't but one person gonna win the Heisman, ain't gonna be before finalists, and he was one of them. Huh? Yeah. That looks pretty good on your resume, young man. And now it's on to bigger and better. Like I said, he was in South Bend. I mean, I don't know how many. I know there are a lot of huge brands in college football. Notre Dame is an international brand. The Catholic Church, they known everywhere. So, Jeremiyah, congratulations on a great career. And now he get to move on. And when people say, why do players say, I want to take care of me and my family? That's his business. That's what he's supposed to say. You don't like it? Yeah. What is I'll take care. You don't know what that man got. He could be talking to his future family. That's his business. Pay that man his money. Yeah, man. I think you're gonna do well. I think you'll look good in that two-tone blue. Shoot, I think you'll look good in that black and red in Atlanta. But neither one, the Titans or the Falcons, they don't make those type of decisions. Oh, they won't get him in Atlanta because they already got Bijan. But right. You can have 2. Don't Detroit got 2? You can have 2, and that keeps them healthy. I'm just saying. We'll see.
Don't be surprised if the Browns do something stupid and go grab him either.
Of course they will. Of course the Browns will.
But let's kind of move on to the next one. We're talking about one going. Let's talk about one staying. And we all seen this coming. A lot of people were saying, Archie Mann is going to declare. He's going to declare. I've been sitting there saying it since last year. There's no way he's going to declare after 1 year. There's no way it was going to happen. Officially, it comes out. Archman is returning to Texas. Hopefully, there's no transferring or anything like that going on. But didn't have a spectacular season, but he didn't have a terrible season either. Let's start with Marvin on this one. Archman returning, not surprised, right?
Yeah, listen, look at his foundation. His dad, his uncles, his grandfather. They're all about, the process and just making sure, and they understand what the NFL is at the quarterback position and the skill set that you have to have, the ability you have to have. And this is not a situation where he's coming out of a broke situation, okay? Whether you look at his family or you look at what NIL has provided. But with NIL now, I mean, these guys don't have to make that jump to go get that money. And again, he's a guy who wasn't jumping for the money anyway, even though he's getting paid. It's a process, man. They don't want, just like you saw, Archie make sure Eli didn't go to San Diego because he didn't want to be in a bad situation. They don't want to put this kid in a bad situation. So he has, the quarterback gods in his ear. He has a dad who has a perspective, of this process as well, just because of what his brothers and dad have done. You're going to see this guy strategically make the right decisions. Trust me, they're moving with strategy. They're moving, with a real humble and honest perception of where he's at and what he needs to do. And if they had a conversation as a family and with Sark about is he coming or going, everybody in the room was like, he's staying. He needs to stay. Okay, so this guy had, I credit him just like Shador. I like how he handles stuff for the most part. I think Manning could be a little more emotional, but I don't knock him for that. I think this kid is going to be okay. I think there's a lot of pressure on him when you have that name on you. The media looks at you differently. You saw how the media did Eli. Ain't no love out here. So, and they jumped on Arch when they didn't start out the gate the way people thought they should. You know what I mean? He was this guy. I think Texas spent like $3 or $4 million recruiting him, just recruiting him. I'm not talking about NIL. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole other conversation. So Texas is really vested into this guy. I think that when he went to Texas, he probably saw a long-term plan with development. There's no reason and no desire to put himself in a position in the NFL under that scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? He sees what Cam Ward's dealing with. He saw what Caleb was dealing with his first year. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to deal with that. And even though it's inevitable to a degree, you want to minimize it the best you can. And the best way you could do that is by your play. So for him, it's about getting better, letting the game slow down some more. Let's learn this offense, take our understanding of the offense to another level. Him staying in college for at least another year was a smart move. Does not surprise me. At no point in his process that I think he's coming out to go to the NFL, because again, most guys do that. You saw that a lot in the pre-NIL day. You know what I'm saying? Again, a lot of these guys come from challenging situations. They want to help their mom out, want to help their dad out, help their parents out. They could do that now in NIL. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know if that was his big issue, but they can do that now. So, I think what you're going to see and what we've seen as a whole really are less guys coming out, which is great for the college game in regards to the product. And I think it's great for the NFL as well, because you have more seasoned guys going to the NFL now that they're inspired and have a reason to stay in school some more and get some more development. And he falls into that category. So, yeah, not a surprise, smart move. Again, they're playing chess. They're moving with strategy and with intention. And this was the right move.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, your thoughts on Arch declaring that he's staying?
Arch Manning knew that whenever he comes out, he's going to be the number one pick. He said, whenever I come out, you're going to be the number one pick. Whenever you come out. So why not come out when you are solidified? Your uncle, he came out when he was solidified. Eli, he came out when he was solidified. And here's the thing about Arch. They saying, dude, y'all about to – he's the most recognizable player and name in college football. Most players, you don't know who they are and where they play. Who was Arch Manning? Come on, the quarterback for Texas? You got to pay for that. I know who you are and where you play. You see how when he played Ohio State, he's not that good. You saw that plane come back up, and it just kept going up. Because it's what you said, Steven. He ain't look that bad. That's all he got to do, not look that bad. Because no one has the same pressure on him that Arch does. Not the name legacy, right? Not the team he's on, not the conference that he's in. Because the one thing that all three of the Mannings did, I'm talking about Eli, Peyton, and Archie, hey, dude, we going to, even their grandfather, we going to do it in the SEC. We going to do it in the SEC. So now we got two UTs. We got Tennessee and Texas. We got Ole Miss, both my uncle and my grandfather. But Arch is saying, dude, I needed a full year to see what this thing was really like. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the one thing about the Mannings that people don't give them enough credit, they got egos, man. Arch Manning don't want to leave saying Quinn Ewers was a better player than him. Quinn Ewers went to back-to-back college football playoff semifinals. Arch is saying, dude, I think I can win that thing. Doesn't mean he's gonna do it. But yeah, I think Marvin said something. It's chess. If you a Manning, they telling him you make as much money in college. That way, by the time you get to the league, every check goes to the bank. You ain't even living off your NFL money. That's what endorsements do. And they saying, dude, you a Manning. It ain't like you. You don't. The only hurting you've ever felt is your physical body. You don't know what it's like to hurt financially, and that's a good thing, by the way. When people say, "Hey, man, what will LeBron kids know about Akron?" Nothing. They probably went there on a private jet and walked around a little bit and got back in the limo. That's a good thing. I want our offspring to say, "Daddy, you lying. There's no way you went through this." Yeah, we did. So you really ate Spam and Vienna sauce? Yeah. You lived. So I knew when Arch Manning decided to go to Texas. But do you know how much money a lot of other schools put in recruiting him? It wasn't just Texas. It was LSU. It was Georgia. It was Florida. It was Michigan. It was Ohio State. And he went to Texas. And Steve Sarkisian was like, all right, I got me one. So, yeah, and look at how he did it. Yeah, I'm coming back. You don't think it has a ripple effect? Lenore Sellers, another quarterback out of South Carolina. He was supposed to go pro. He's coming back. Right? The kid Rayola over there in Nebraska, right? He's transferring. Look, if I can't be the best quarterback, I want to compete when he's in college because I want my name synonymous with his name. That way they putting us all together. That way they can evaluate us all the same. So I saw this. And here's the thing. Where is he going to go in these top 15 teams that's going to be better than Texas? As far as like a brand, not many. Texas is the biggest brand in the state. Sorry, Dallas. Texas is the biggest brand in the state. Bigger than Houston, bigger than Dallas. It'll go UT, it'll go Dallas, Houston, and maybe you start talking about the other school, Texas A&M and Houston and SMU. So yeah, he's saying, dude, I'm making what? His NIL evaluation is almost 5.5 mil. I'm straight. And all I gotta do is go to class. If he goes to class, I don't know what he does.
He's going to school online. He going online.
Yeah. So if you are Arch Manning too, you also want to prove that you can handle it. Because he didn't handle it well. Because it's all perception. We don't know him. He didn't handle it well when he finally became the guy. He's want to say no. I'm gonna tell you what he really want, and I know I'm speaking. He want the Joe Burrow. See, Joe Burrow first year at LSU, he wasn't that good in 2018. He was 2019, the rest is history. Now he ain't getting no Jamar Chase and no, Justin Jefferson and Marshall and Thaddeus Moss, the son of Randy Moss. Yes, he was a tight end on that team. I think he won't defend Young. I want to take Texas to the Natty and win it. Because that's solidified. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, $5.5 million NIL evaluation. Is anybody going? If they gave Arch Manning $10 million, is anybody going to say anything? Nope. Because it's almost like we justify what these big name people get because of the name. So, hey, what can I say? The man who controls college football, he's done it, even though he ain't played a long time. It's Archie Manning. He controlled it with both of his sons. Now he's doing it with his grandson. I was in that 2004 draft when he told the San Diego Chargers, my son ain't coming out there. Let me tell y'all something. That's what a daddy's supposed to do. So when people start talking about LeVar Ball and what he did with Melo and them, that's what you're supposed to do. These are my sons. This is our legacy. We had a meeting at the table, at the crib. So I did it with my sons. Now I get to do it with my grandson. Oh, and for those who don't know, Peyton Manning's son played quarterback. Hello. He's coming too. I'm telling y'all, these Mannings are saying, yeah, we're gonna monopolize this NFL thing. We're gonna just start in college. So I'm not surprised. I think Arch, his name is freaking Arch. Arch sits down and says, how can I control the narrative today? Oh, y'all ready? We finna do it? I'm coming back. And they didn't even make the college football playoff, and it's the biggest news. And handle your business, youngin. I ain't mad at him. And like I said, if Steven, your son, Marvin, your son, my son, if our kids had that type of leverage, we better make sure they use it. You got to use. It's a flex, man. You ain't mad at nobody. It's just Arch was like, watch how I shake up the whole college football. I ain't even in the college football play. How you gonna do it? I'm coming back. What? You coming back for real? Yeah. You coming back in 2026? Steve Sarkisian was like, he gonna be at the bowl game. They're gonna be asking about Arch. Like, it really doesn't matter who we play in the bowl game, whether we win or lose. Arch Manning's coming back. No more questions. I love it. I love it.
And speaking of news, I told Marvin I got something about his Trojans. So came across this one. So obviously the Olympics is coming to LA in 2028, but it's expected to force UFC football out of the Coliseum. Marvin, where would you like to see him play if that is in case the fact, and you guys are not going to have access to the Coliseum in 2020?
Yeah, it's looking like it's the real thing that's really going to be happening. They've had the Olympics there before on multiple occasions, and they were able to have everything in the actual Coliseum, the track, all the field events, and everything else. It worked out, but I think with the new construction of the stadium, the way it is, it's not feasible. So what they're saying is that the Trojans are going to be playing in SoFi. Yeah, they're going to be in SoFi. That's what I'm seeing and reading and hearing. So yeah, right now I think UCLA is scheduled to play there. Obviously, the Rams play there, the Chargers play there. So this would be interesting how they do this. But yeah, it looks like we'll be going to SoFi. I look at that as pros and cons. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the Coliseum is so grand, it's so amazing that the Olympics want to be held there. They want to use that venue for the track and field and other events and stuff. So that's cool to be able to say that. I think, if you're a recruit, where we're taking you on your recruiting trip, we're taking you to SoFi as part of the trip, so you can see, what's available for you if you come to SC, the type of venues you'll be playing in. I do hate it for the seniors, because for me as a senior, I'd want to play my last season in the Coliseum. That meant something to me. You know what I'm saying? Beating Notre Dame, my last game at home in the Coliseum, meant something to me. You know what I'm saying? Doing it on the same field as Marcus Allen and my dad and all the players that came before us, man, meant something to me. So we lose a little something there. I mean, the Coliseum is synonymous with USC. It's on campus, or it's across the street from campus, I'll say. But it's right there. Easily accessible for our students. So, and that's one of the things that you love, about being SC and being a football fan. So, yeah, the Olympics are huge, man. It's a huge situation, international, biggest sporting event in the world. USC is going to have a major role in it, as their football stadium will feature all the track events, and that's going to be pretty cool. And having these players have to leave for a year to play in SoFi, like I said, I hate it for the seniors, but I think SoFi is supposed to be one of the most high-tech arenas and stadiums in the world. You know what I mean? So trust me, they're not going to have a problem getting USC fans to commit to coming out there to check out that stadium for that 1 year. Definitely different for USC, because we've played so many years consecutively in the Coliseum. But, I have no problem taking a step aside for the Olympics and allowing our stadium to be featured on an international level during the Summer Olympics.
Ben, your thoughts on USC being kicked out of their own stadium for the
Stop saying kicked out, Steve. We wasn't kicked out. We made a deal. We're making deals.
I'm about to say,
leveraging.
Y'all got paid. Let me rephrase. They got paid.
If you really think you expect me to believe that when SoFi Stadium, who already knew that the Olympics was coming in 2028, didn't say, "Hey man, what do we get? What do we get?" So think about this. They said SC. They didn't say UCLA. They said SC. No. This stuff is strategic.
Yeah.
And that's what business means. Hey, business predicts the future because they control the present. Oh, we know what's coming because we predict right now. So they were saying, so how do y'all do this? Well, the Olympics coming to 2028. SC won't be able to play in the Coliseum. What they gonna play? They're gonna play here. USC gonna play in SoFi? That's right. So let me get this straight. Y'all gonna be yes. You gonna have the Rams, yep. The Chargers, yep. And yeah. Because the biggest brand in the state is SC. They bigger than the Chargers. They bigger than the Rams. Why? Because the Rams and the Chargers weren't always here. They was in St. Louis. They was in San Diego. No, SC always been here, right? So now, I think it's brilliant. And this is why I say that. The University of Florida about to get some renovations done to it, right? Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium about to get some renovations done to it. They were saying, hey, where we gonna play at? Florida was like, y'all can come down here and play. What? Y'all can come down here and play. They'll say, why would Jacksonville? They said, as Jacksonville, they say in the 9 games that Jacksonville have at home compared to when Florida played Georgia and Jacksonville, the revenues don't match. See, that's what your two college teams do at a pro level, and I'm telling you, I guarantee you, SoFi, before they did, they said, listen, just before we do this deal, SC coming to 28, right? Yeah, okay. I guarantee you that was a part of it. Because look, if I own SoFi Stadium, man, that's a flex. I'm finna have SC here. Because everything SC has done and will do, they'll attribute to SoFi. They'll go from SC is coming to say, yeah, man, we won all these Heismans. Watch how they use the word we. They ain't gonna say them. They're gonna say, yeah, I mean, come on in, man. Come on in. We'd love to have you guys. And I guarantee you, SC fans, that's another way to troll UCLA fans. Man, why are they trying to get y'all over there at the Rose Bowl?
We just gave Marvin some more ammo when he
I'm just.
Yeah,
It's to show you how big. Okay, Jacksonville is getting renovation. That's what Florida played Georgia. That's what Georgia game. Georgia, Florida to them Georgia fans. So they said, where they gonna play at? Check this out. This is how big the game is. Florida and Georgia refuse to play at each other's stadium. So they're gonna play 1 year in Orlando and they're gonna play 1 year in Atlanta while the renovation's going on. I'm telling you, certain schools moved the dial. SC moves the dial. And and this is nothing against Fresno State. This is nothing against San Jose State and Cal, right? And Sacramento State. Y'all ain't SC. When I used to go back and forth to California, man, back in the day, and I used to be like, man, how would y'all describe college football, in the state of California? They'll say it's SC. What you mean? Like people gonna say stuff like Stanford, their mascot is a tree. No, that's not gonna work. So I'm just telling you, this solidifies it because they didn't put y'all out. They paid y'all to come over here. Hey, they were like, listen, Mr. Lincoln Riley, listen, I know y'all can't be over here, but we got to roll out the red carpet to y'all over here so far. So, hey man, I think it's a great business move. I think that when you think about what a college team does for revenue, yeah, they say, hey man, how much money do the Rams? See, the Rams and the Chargers, they got to market themselves on the field and through the media to get people to come. SC's coming. Where you think the SC fans going?
Yeah,
traffic is already bad. They coming. Yeah. They gonna be there. And yeah, I mean, like I said, Mel don't really want to talk about this. Mel don't want to do this. And the reason why I know Mel don't want to talk about it because number one, oh man, Mel said softball championship. Man. Golly, man. I mean, and I listen, respect Mel, but yeah, man, I think it's a flex. I think it's because number one, SoFi Stadium is going to use this as their marketing moving forward. Do you remember when we had the SC Trojans here in 2028? Yes, it's because of the Olympics, but SC could have said no. You know that, right? No, we ain't doing that. But they did. And they said, all right, cool. But tell us why we going to come. I don't know how much money is involved, but it's a lot of money. They gave SC a lot of money to agree to these terms. And now SC might go, well, what do we want to play in y'all stadium once a year now? We get to pick the opponent. Cool. Pick them. Really? Yeah. Pick one. Pick an opponent that you want to play every year. All right, we'll let y'all know. So I like it though. Like Marvin say, man, it's America, man. It's all about business. Capitalism runs what we do. And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And that's one of the easiest decisions they ever. When SoFi was getting ready to be built, they said, wait. The Olympics coming to 28, right? Where they gonna play it? Well, they gonna play it over in the Coliseum. They gonna say, "Whoa, we get to get SC." They gotta act like that wasn't a big deal. They're like, "Okay, I like that." So yeah, man, it's good for everybody involved. And if you are those seniors that get to play in 28, they gonna love it because they gonna say, "I would have loved to play in the Coliseum." There's nothing to replace the Coliseum, but if you got to replace it, we give you SoFi. Okay, I can take that.
If you look at what Chad Bowden, our GM at USC, has been doing, I mean, obviously we have the number one recruiting class in 26. Trust me, he is leveraging this and using this to market and recruit. The LA fans, these SC fans who might not get up and go to the Coliseum for that one season that USC will be at SoFi, trust me, they're going to fill that thing up. They're going to market the hell out that thing. This financially, business-wise, from marketing perspective, this is a slam dunk decision. It's a win for everybody. It's not a matter of nobody kicking us out, Steve. It was a bidding war. It's a bidding war right now. SoFi is winning. To have our talent.
Hang me at the dry for saying kicking you out. All right, I misspoke, my friend. I misspoke. And speaking of business decisions, we were already talking about. We were talking about Marshall Faulk last week. Well, the details of his move to Southern University as he's pulling in a $3 million a year, pulling in $1.2 million a year. A very smart investment for Southern University. Marvin, your thoughts on the contract that was given to the Marshall Faulk?
Yeah, listen, this level of football, you're not seeing the mega contracts. You're not seeing the $10 million a year. With that said, he's a first-time head coach, and again, it's just it's financially it's a lower program than the Power Four, but this is a home run hire, I think. I mean, listen, for Marshall Faulk, it's not about the money. This guy has a Hall of Fame career, was an outstanding TV analyst, did well with that. And when you listen to him talk, I've heard him speak on making good decisions financially. So this is not a matter of need. He's from Louisiana. He's from New Orleans, an hour from Baton Rouge. You know what I mean? He's going home to have impact with the kids in his community. That's what he's doing. And he loves football. And he loves football. And he loves his community. And he loves these kids. So he understands these kids. I mean, you would expect Southern on some level is going to be involved in some type of NIL space. But for the teams he's playing against, it's all going to be comparable. At the end of the day, when Marshall Faulk goes to your home and he sits down in that living room, your dad knows who he is, okay? Your granddad knows who he is. Your older brothers know who he is, all right? This current generation, these kids today who are 18 years old coming out of high school, they might not know him like that, but they will. And in the state of Louisiana, he's a legend. He's an absolute legend. This is great, man. You know what I'm saying? This is good. This is good for Southern University. I think Marshall Faulk brings tremendous experience, tremendous perspective. I think he's going to win recruiting kids locally. Louisiana is, on the low, maybe the most talent-rich football state out there on the low. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Georgia, Texas, California, they got something to say about that, I know. But, there's a reason there's a reason Lane Kiffin was really happy to go to Louisiana. So I'm excited for Marshall Faulk. I think this could be the beginning of something very special. Obviously he's impacted by the Coach Prime effect. You saw what Prime did at Jackson State. Now he's at a Power Four. You see Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick out there coaching HBCUs. Deshaun Jackson, Coach of the Year. This is Deion just again having impact and just changing the game, changing the culture of how coaches are hired, who we're evaluating, who we're looking at. And listen, just because I've seen this guy for many years on the mic and how he presents himself, I'm very excited for Marshall Faulk, and I believe that he'll do well there. In regards to the money, like I said, it's a good contract for anybody in America in this economic climate, but he ain't there for the money, believe me.
Ben, your thoughts on Marcus Faulk's 3-year, $1.2 million to coach at Southern University?
I think it's a great deal. And I think with everything that Marvin just said, when you think about a guy like Marshall Faulk, I mean, this is a dream come true for him. I mean, most guys, Marshall Faulk, I mean, he grew up in New Orleans. He went to school, at San Jose State. He was second in Heisman Trophy voting. And he was like, he grew up a Southern fan. There is no way you grew up in New Orleans and not know who Southern is. There's no way you grew up in New Orleans and not know like teams like Tulane. You know about teams like that. And to know that, wait a minute, I get to coach at SWAC. I get to coach Southern. I get to walk into these young men's homes and understand what mama's cooking in the kitchen. I understand the culture of every kid I'm going, and look at the Deion Sanders effect. Wait a minute, you come and be my running backs coach within a year? But I guarantee you, Marshall Faulk probably came to Deion and said, dude, Southern gonna offer me. Come be on my staff first. See what it's like. See what it's like first. At a school like Colorado, and I'm gonna handle all the heat. Right? You could just coach, then go to Southern. Think about what that does for that Baton Rouge community. I mean, we got one a week. I mean, he's from the booth. He get to go back home and really get to help these young men understand, look, I'm trying to help you have the best college football experience I possibly can. I'm trying to help you get as many eyes on you as I possibly can. I'm trying to show you the same communities that you guys, the same streets you guys came up in, I came up in. So I respect it. I respect Marshall because let's call it what it really is. A lot of these Hall of Fame players don't want to put their athletic reputation on the line to go to coaching because they gonna compare the two. Marshall, like, man, forget all that. I know that most players ain't gonna do what I did. I know that most players, whether running back, quarterback, ain't gonna do what I done in college or in the pros. How can I? What they call it? You got 3 stages, man. You got the learning stage, earning stage, and returning stage. Well, he's learned and earned. Now he's returning it. and he's returning it back in the boot, I respect it. Because Marshall is saying, at a place like Southern, it is bigger than football. Like, they want to win, and I think they're going to win. But what kind of impact Marshall Faulk coming into my living room? Like, the dad got to be like, it's outside. He recruiting my kid. And the dad over here, like, the dad say something like, hey, man, I used to watch it when you was with the Rams. I know it's all. I used to watch it when you was with the Colts. Because the kids are too young. They know how to Google. But when they watch Marshall Faulk, they gonna be like, "That's you, that's me. You doing?" Yeah, young man, I've done it. Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, you know, I mean, you talk, you know, what I'm saying, Torrey Holt, greatest show on turf. That's me. So I am extremely proud of Marshall Faulk for saying, "Hey, I'm tired of talking about the problem. This is how I be about the solution. I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go and if me being the head coach." I can go out there and hire who I want. There's other coaches out there that want to coach. That is hard. It is hard to get into coaching, by the way. It is extremely difficult. But I respect Deshaun. I respect Mike Vick and what they doing. Because former players that want to coach, that understand that the scrutiny is gonna come because they're gonna be like, they're gonna compare how they was as a player to how they was as a coach when the two don't compare. It's two total different things. And if we was walking down the street, we see Marshall Faulk on a random day, like, hey man, what's up? That's Marshall. Are you Marshall? You know what I'm saying? So I think it's always a great thing when former players decide that the next career, the next phase of their life gonna be trying to pour into the lives of these young men to try to help them navigate life. Because Marshall, there ain't too many things a player gonna go through that Marshall Faulk ain't seen, felt, or done. He could tell them, look, it's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. How do you leverage what you have right now for the rest of your life? Name NIL shouldn't even be name and image likeness. It should be name and image legacy. But you can only do that with leverage. How do you build leverage? Win what? These games consistently. And you don't think Deion showed Marshall Faulk how to do with them cameras? Hey, man. I don't know how many people has watched Jackson State since Deion left. All of us was watching it when he was there. Remember that? Yeah. We watched it. We learned about what the SWAC was, what the MEAC was. What? That's the two HBCU conferences. They playing what? The celebration. Deion went to 2 celebration bowls. He didn't win it. But he goes, I went to 2. I know teams ain't never been to it. So, hey, I'm proud of Marshall Faulk, man. And like I said, Southern got that. They got that band. They got that culture. They got the food. They got the people. They got the atmosphere. They got the environment. Now they got the coach. And Marshall Faulk, he gonna come in with some demands now, and I guarantee he utilized some of his salary to help do some things. Hey, man, I'm making $400K. Let's take $100K and do this. Let's take another $100K and do that. Because for everybody that had something to say about Deion when he was at Jackson State, I think he donated, a third of his contract to facilities. And if you don't think Jackson State is better when he left than when he came, you might want to check again. So happy for Marshall. I'm gonna be watching Southern. But when it comes to the MAC and the SWAC, it's one team everybody got to deal with. It's called South Carolina State. You can't beat them. It really, and they just hoisted up another Celebration Bowl trophy, man. Shout out to Prairie View that took them to 4 overtimes, but very, very proud of Marshall Faulk for what he's doing.
And as we're talking about legacy, we can get into one more topic before we get back to football. I don't know if you guys seen this, but you know, Michael Jordan had this big lawsuit with NASCAR over this past week, and after 9 days, guess what? They settled the antitrust lawsuit with Michael and his team, and is now going to provide permanent charters instead of ones that must be renewed. Michael beating everyone on the court. Now he beating everyone in the courtroom because you know, I know that he had his team put together, and I guess he did not like how things were being done in NASCAR. Now he's changing NASCAR. Marvin, your thoughts on this? You know, Michael beating people on a whole nother level now.
Yeah, you know, I'm not familiar with the details of that. I saw the headline, but what I'll say is this: Michael Jordan's a trailblazer. I mean, he's a leader. Trust me, this is a man that has, just because of the success he's attained, that he's earned, you look from where he came from to where he is, he has no fear of taking on any challenge, any opponent at all. And this is a situation where if you got the influence, if you got the money, the resources to go up against an entity like NASCAR, and you get them to agree to a settlement 9 years into trial. I mean, you would think NASCAR. I mean, they're not the NFL, but they're bringing in so much money a year. You know what I'm saying? They're powerful. What man would ever think about going up against an entity like that? You know what I mean? Jordan. It makes sense that a man of his caliber, who's used to overcoming those odds, who's used to winning at an elite level, who's used to dealing with challenges, it makes sense that he's the one to lead this charge. You would think, I mean, he's new to NASCAR when you think about it, right? When you think about all the other owners and teams that are in there, right? How come none of them came together, and were able to get this kind of success? How come they didn't come together collectively, without Jordan to try to do this? So the fact that he did this, he led it, it was his charge. The fact that he was so influential and dominant, he created the face of the league in the NBA. He was the face of the league. And now you see him having, real impact in an entirely different sport, changing the sport, doing something that obviously is celebrated by his colleagues, not so much NASCAR, but the other, teams and owners who had issue with this as well. It's awesome, man. So kudos to Jordan. All he's doing is adding to his legacy with this significant win. And again, I'm not a guy that follows NASCAR, but I felt it on social media and on the internet that this was significant, and it was something that would change that sport forever. So kudos to him.
And your thoughts on this one, brother?
I just talked about leverage, right? You know that what Michael Jordan just did, a lot of owners been wanting to do it, but they ain't got the cachet Mike does. Mike, man, you think you can help us with this? All right, Mike said, if I'm gonna do this, y'all, I don't want no input. Y'all gonna rock with me no matter what I do when I go in there. All right, because I'm aggressive. All right. Is it the same Michael Jordan they had Bud Wallace on there? The reason why they took down the Confederate flags? Yep, that's the same Michael Jordan and his team. I'm telling you, but you just said it, Marvin. He's a trailblazer, man. Trailblazer mean I'm willing to do it by myself. I ain't got time to get you to get on board with me, man. You either rock with me or you don't. And Michael Jordan is saying, dude, I ain't gonna make it look like y'all bullying me. I don't care that I just got here. Most owners in NASCAR, most owners, period, you don't even know how they look. I'm Michael Jordan, man. Are y'all serious? So let me get this straight. It must have been a lot of problems with these charter jets or whatever. So y'all want to grow the sport, but y'all doing this petty stuff. Y'all supposed to been iron this out. It took me being the owner saying, wait, where everybody at, man? They still on the road. What you mean they still on the road? Yeah, you talking about my driver? Yeah, they actually jump on the road like Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. They really on the 18-wheeler. Man, if you don't get my driver here today, I need him here now. So he got to ride from Talladega to California and drive 500 miles. Stop playing with me. Put him on a private. I respect that because, like I said, Michael Jordan said, look, man, money can't do what leverage can. Money don't mean you got leverage. A lot of people got money. Them NASCAR owners got money. They ain't Mike. And I'm going to tell you what NASCAR really thought. Man, come on, Mike. Mike said, boy, you don't know who I am, do you? You think I'm something to play with? I owned the Hornets until I sold my majority stake. And I didn't buy the Hornets to win championships. I bought the Hornets to stack wealth. Y'all better stop. And that's not the only thing I own. I own tequila. I got that too. I'm a part owner of DraftKings. Remember that? That's Mike. So Mike is telling these owners, all you got is racing. This is just a part of my portfolio. But let me show you what made me a beast on the court. You don't want to give it to me? I'll come take it from you. And that's what he won right now. You know he coming back. Okay, so I got us these jets. Which let's talk about how much money we were spending for these things over here. Because some of y'all finna get some back pay. These people that are coming out of I respect Mike. And for people that don't know, Michael Jordan, man, he do a lot in the healthcare industry too. He does a lot. Mike does a lot. But I respect that I'm using my influence. Because Michael Jordan, everybody gets questioned when it comes to their celebrity. When I walk in the room, they like, oh shoot, is that Michael Jordan? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're a president or something. Even Barack gonna be like, hey, what's up, Mike? If he walk in the room, you know what I'm saying? But I respect the fact that he ain't just sitting back. Because people ask why Mike ain't doing more. I said, man, Mike ain't got time. Don't Mike got 2 young kids? Right? So I respect every man or woman that has leverage and uses it to bully bullies. Because some of these people been bullying people for a long time, and Mike said, "Don't feel good, do it, huh? Don't feel good. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun." Right? So I respect that he's done it. And NASCAR's like, Mike getting on our nerves. Mike said, I'm coming for Mike said, I don't want to be around a sport that has a bunch of nonsense attached to it. I'm trying to kill it, all of that, and let's just get back to racing. Let's just get back to racing. But yeah, hey man, I respect it though. I respect Mike doing it. When Michael Jordan came out the courtroom, and he got on Mike still got them big old suits on, man. Mike ain't changed none of his clothes. He's like, I ain't buying no new suits. I'm not doing the super skinny tight suit. I'm doing the big, thick, wide leg, which is fine. It's Mike. And Mike looked at the cameraman like Mike looked at the cameraman like it was Game 7. You think I came here to lose? You really think I threw my reputation and name in this to lose? You know they're saying Michael Jordan and NASCAR. It used to be NASCAR and Mike. Mike said, yeah, man, I'm trying to be the face of this thing. Like I was the face of the NBA, trying to be the face of NASCAR too. They shouldn't have let me. If they didn't want me to be the face, they shouldn't have let me in. I love it. I see you, Mike.
And Steve, we gotta look at this comment from your boy Eddie Prather. He's saying that the Hornets were a rare failure for MJ. And I would go back to what Ben said. That wasn't a failure. That was a business move, and it was a hell of a business move. Okay? He won on a big level. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
B's, not M's. He cashed out for billions. You know what I'm saying? So trust me, this was strategic.
Oh yeah, that wasn't no Eddie. I would challenge you to go to IG, go to Jay Williams, the former number 2 overall pick that played for Duke, and just type in Jay Williams, Michael Jordan, and let you hear what Jay Williams said. He goes, "We looking at it from the wrong. This was never about wins. He drafted LaMelo Ball. You think he was trying to win a chip? Oh, dude, I'm trying to bring attention to Charlotte to make as much money as I can to cash out. That sounds like the stock market. That's what they do. Let me invest this much to cash out that much. And guess what? I'm gonna sell my majority stake, which means I don't want to make day-to-day decisions, but I still get to be in the room because I'm a minority owner. So they still go. We think about getting this player and kind of look at Mike. What? Go on what you mean. I got to jump on this private jet. I got to go see Bud Wallace go to Talladega later on tonight. So I'm telling you, if you've never been in these type of rooms before, just sit in a room where real decisions are being made, so you can see what it feel like. It ain't nothing like Marvin get to the room and everybody in there with their suits on, and Marvin walk in with his t-shirt and jeans on, and they're like, "Man, why you ain't got on a suit?" Because you ain't me. Sit down. and it's not like we ain't done this before. No, man, I don't not got on a suit to try to prove a point. You had to wear a suit because look at this build. Man, I'm leaving here to go see my son play when I leave, man. But I know what questions to ask. That's Mike, man. I mean, when I picked my agent when I was coming out, every agent that tried to get me was suited and booted. I'm talking about Tom Ford, $10,000 all the way up to the neck. My agent came in with some jeans on and a t-shirt. And my mom said, well, Joe, why don't you wear a suit? He said, well, ma'am, I'm only here because your son gonna be a top pick. Them other agents ain't tell you that. They only here because what your son could do for them. Or see, I can respect honesty and truth. He said, but when your son get drafted, watch how much I get him compared to the 5 guys that went in front of him and everybody that went behind him. He said, ma'am, I ain't here to lie to you, man. He said, I do this for real. He said, they just want your son. I do this for real. My agent name was Joe Siegel. Type in how much money he done made over his career. He's still doing it. And I'm not saying I had nothing to do with it, but when I met Joe, I never fired him. He didn't have no kids. One of his sons named Benjamin. I'm just telling you, one of his sons, I ain't saying I got nothing to do with it. I'm saying, but one of his sons named Benjamin. And he didn't have no kids.
You had that impression on him, that's all.
All I'm saying is, man, if I was in the NFL right now, I would still have Joe Siegel because he said, Troupe, if I'm going to lie to you to get you, I'm going to lie to you after I get you because that's how I got you. I'm going to keep it a buck right here, first day. So if I can still have, I mean, not that I need him now, but I'm saying I want to be around people who gonna tell me the truth, man, because you know what I'm saying. Truth drive. What my granddaddy said, a truth drive in a 2-seater. A lie, it drives in a Suburban. It's full of stuff. I ain't got a lot of room in this 2-seater, man. It's just me and the truth. The truth right here and me, and the top can come off so you can see us. So let's do it.
Let's get back to some football. And Ben was talking about getting clicks, right? And people going after Jalen Hurts and all that other stuff. Yo, man, I came across this. Jalen has officially broken this Cowboys fan page because literally, if you look at this guy's post, every post that this person has made over the past 2 weeks has been Jalen this and Jalen that and Jalen that. There's their 20 posts and he's just talking about Jalen. It's a Cowboys fan account. What are you talking about Jalen Hurts for, man?
Talk about a winner. He want to know what it's like to tweet or whatever you call it about it. But it's, man, Dallas fans, stop making it so easy to make y'all the butt of all the jokes, man. Y'all make it hard for us. Like,
but that's why they're Dallas fans. Everyone was sitting there what 3 weeks ago. They're gonna catch the Eagles. They're gonna catch the Eagles, and they do what you know exactly what they do. It's December time. It's time for them to turn back into a pumpkin. They're not a cabbage no more. We've seen this song and dance before.
Turn back into a pumpkin.
I know you're trying to get in here. Go, Marvin.
No, I'm saying it's part of your identity. I think it's part of their identity to hate y'all and talk about y'all and have y'all in their mind and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like as a Eagles fan, you think about Dallas a lot in the offseason, a whole heck of a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's part of who y'all are in your division, in your history.
It's free entertainment. I got my marshmallows. I can't wait to see the nonsense that comes out of their mouth.
And for a Dallas
but
fan,
this is a mental disease, man. Listen, Eagles fans like to talk crap. I'm not going to say we don't, but this is the Mariah Carey song. Why are you so obsessed with me?
That's crazy, dude. That's here's the thing too, right? Don't people know that this stuff is like archive? Like, bro, we can see this. Like, it's one of these things where you walk into a building and your homie there, and he got on something he shouldn't be wearing. And you kind of walk up to him.
I gotta stop you. I'm not having Dak slander. Listen, I like to make fun of Dak. Don't get me wrong. If you put Dak on any other franchise right now, he's a Super Bowl contender. He is a top 10.
Nice. Dak. Listen, Dak gonna give you everything he got, but Dak, Tony Romo, any quarterback that came through Dallas, it's Dallas. It ain't the player. Because Tony Romo was a really, really good quarterback, right? But it took the playoffs. Be like, ooh, so same thing happened to Dak, right? And let me say, do I troll other fan bases? Absolutely, man. I don't care. I mean, I'm a troll people. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan. You really think all I got is trolling, but I'm gonna get trolled back. So I ain't got much. But I will say this though. Trolling has less to do with what my team is doing. I'm talking Georgia is miles and miles ahead of Florida right now as far as like what they're doing. You think they're gonna keep me from talking about them puppies? I'm talking I don't care. Like people will say, well, Florida ain't done nothing lately. And I'll say, when the last time Georgia had a first round quarterback, not named Matthew Stafford? Exactly. You can't pick them. You can't find them. So I do think Dallas is more obsessed with y'all, Steve, than y'all are them. But at least they honest about it. At least they say, look.
That's the only thing they honest about. That's the only thing they honest about. We're gonna get to trolling stuff in a minute. Marvin, get your thoughts on this.
I mean, look at their position. You know, again, you're their rivals, you're in their division, and they're watching your quarterback, you know, go to multiple Super Bowls. They're watching your quarterback win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? They're watching your team, you know, compete for opportunities to win the division. So it's jealousy, it's emotion. You know what I'm saying? You right there in their face. They have to see this. They can't shy away from it. They can't not see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard on them, man. Listen, people love you. They love to hate you, but they're fans either way. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that. So I don't want Dallas fans. I'm not saying the Dallas fans, you know, really got love for the Eagles, but you don't know what's in their head and their hearts, man. You know what I'm saying? They probably hate y'all because they ain't y'all. And I really mean that, because right now, y'all I ain't gonna say y'all on top, but y'all looking fresh and clean compared to them Cowboys. Cowboys is kind of like the Cowboys won Super Bowl,
30 years ago.
I was gonna call them like the Jets, but no, the Jets go back even further than that. So I wouldn't even do that to them. But no, man, it's jealousy, it's emotion. Y'all sitting there right there across the street from them with y'all shiny trophy. You know what I'm saying? And they talking about Troy Aikman and them, 40 years ago. So this is emotional. That's all.
Now, speaking of trolls, because obviously it's been a hard few weeks here in Philadelphia for Jalen Hurts, and I think the lineman has had enough of it because Landon Dickerson had absolutely called out this Eagles media member where he tried to deflect the Jalen Hurts hate back onto the fan base, not coming from the media. This is pure gold from Landon Dickerson.
What made Jalen Hurts, rough ride this week, obviously for him. How good was it to see him perform like he did today?
What do you mean a rough ride?
Yeah, rough game last week. People.
Oh, y'all just dog him, but yeah, good game for him.
Fans.
As you hear, as it cuts off, he's like, "Oh, it's the fans. It's the fans." Stop it, guys. Can't y'all just like the other side? If you gonna say something, then they were calling for Tanner McKee to start all last week. We need Tanner McKee in there. He's gonna be the difference maker. Well, y'all got your wish. They went up 31 points, and Tanner McKee ran them down the field for it was 79 yards. They actually had more yards than the Raiders' offense did in 4 quarters. So you got your Tanner McKee play, but listen, when you're calling for this man's job and stuff like this, and the offensive lineman calls you out for it, don't sit there and put it on the fans, man. Take the heat right on the chin, just like the quarterbacks do when they got a 300-pound lineman about to hit him in the mouth. Marvin, what's your thoughts on Landon Dickerson basically putting the media member in their place here?
Yeah, so when you played the intro and then this last clip, it didn't show up for me. It was a black screen, so I didn't see it or hear it. But using the media or the fans as an excuse, listen, championship teams that are well ran, they're not listening to the fans. They're not listening to the media. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're a leader and you have a plan and you know what you want to do, you realize that, this plan we may go through hard times and then we'll get to what we want to get to as we go through this process and grow and evolve. The best teams, real leaders, senior leaders, guys who've been doing this, they're not attached. They're not listening to the point where it's impacting them. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I'm not saying that they're not aware of what's being said, but that has zero influence on who they're going to keep and who they're going to cut. The minute you start listening to the fans is a day that you're going to be sitting in the stands and you're going to be a fan. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on that. Not have heard it.
And just so you know what they were asking Landon about the rough ride that Jalen has had this past week, and he's like, what do you mean rough ride? And he started talking about his performance against the Chargers, and he's like, oh, what do you mean, you guys dogging him? And then the reporter responded, "Oh, that's the fans." That was the gist of the video play. I'm not sure why I didn't play on your end.
Yeah, it's all good. No, but listen, I'll be honest with you. With all that said, I don't feel sorry for Jalen Hurts. He okay. He knows what this is about. I'm saying he knows the industry he's in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He knows what this is. And if y'all haven't paid attention, he ain't listening to y'all. I'm not saying that he don't hear it, that it don't get to him. Like people in his family don't tell him, but listen, from his Nick Saban days to the days he was with his daddy, okay, his dad who built that whole tough foundation. He's learned to block the noise out from day one. That's old to him. He ain't thinking about that, man. You know what I'm saying? I give him credit for as much as I'm on Jalen Hurts for is he an elite quarterback and all that stuff. We don't have to have that conversation right now.
We'll have it in about a few minutes. I got something to show you.
Right on. No, but he is good at the podium, and he's good at letting y'all know that y'all don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't even thinking about y'all. So I'm with that, man. I'm with my man Jalen. I support him on that camp.
Ben.
Landon looking at the media like, do you expect me to do y'all job for y'all? Is that what you and you see how he went rough ride? It's the fans. Boy, it is a sad it's a sad day in Philly when you are afraid to stand on what you asking me. So you telling me the fans told you to come in? Did your editor send you in here? Don't you represent a news outlet? What's your name again, sir? Because once again, Landon, like, look, that's my people over there. I got to play with this dude. So let me get this straight. I'm fixing to say something crazy about him and then just go play with him. What you call a rough ride, I call football. Those other guys on the other side of the ball, they get paid money too, right?
Yep.
They professionals too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go, look, y'all need to stop listening to all these naysayers. Because you know what naysayers are? What? They fans too, and they can't beat us. They cannot beat us. The average team in the NFL cannot beat us. Doesn't mean we can't be beat.
Mm-hmm.
But a rough ride for Jalen. I mean, a rough ride. Yeah, he have a good game against the Chargers. Yeah, why don't y'all want to talk about this week? Well, see how fast he bounced back? He bounced back like that, right? And yes, it's the Raiders, but we made the Raiders look like the Raiders because we look like us. That's why we really made them look like that. Nobody controls the media better than Mike Tomlin as a coach and Jalen Hurts as a player. The way they can control the media, they're like, dude, I ain't no gotcha stuff. You think you're going to get me? No, I got y'all. Because you could be a media member for the Browns. You got to ask these Brown players questions every week. They like, you could be a media member for the Titans or the Saints. I'm serious. So Jalen Hurts is built to be a Philadelphia Eagle because he can deal with the Philly media. Like, that's what people don't talk about with certain teams. Play for the Jets and the Giants, you got to deal with the media. So I get it. Landon's like, dude, y'all ain't got nothing else to ask me for real. Y'all could have. Which y'all want me? I don't help y'all with bulletin board material. I don't do that because as much as y'all want to make it not about Jalen, you want to make it about AJ, Devonta Smith, and Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith and Kobe Dean. Take Jalen Hurts off our roster. Take him off, and watch what happens. Because if Saquon was the best player on the team in 2024, which he wasn't the most valuable. That's Jalen. That's all I'm saying. There are a bunch of players on the team that are more talented than Jalen, but they ain't Jalen. Because I'm gonna go back to 2024 when Saquon Barkley comes up to Jalen Hurts and said, man, do you ever get nervous? You ever feel like, yeah. This is a 2,000-yard running back. Do you ever feel that Jalen said, man, I ain't new to this, I'm true to this, I've been here. I only know one team, brother. And that's his team right here in green and white. And let me tell you something. It is the best and worst place to play in football because you cannot hide. If I want a cheesesteak, I'll send somebody out to get it, or I'll go get it. Because if I go get it, I got to deal with, whoa, what's up, Jalen? What's up, man? Can I just get it with extra onions, please? I know. We threw. Then y'all throw Snow and Santa Claus. Philly is different. Philly booed Donovan McNabb.
Going to there, like y'all know the whole reason behind it.
Hey man, Santa should have brought me my gifts. I wouldn't have belted you with this freaking snowball. No, I played against Philly. The one time I got to play Philly was in Philly when Donovan McNabb tore his ACL on the sideline. And let me tell you something. If them Philly fans wouldn't have been halfway, they was about to jump up. I went up to Donovan McNabb just to see. I said, "Hey man, you all right?" And them Philly fans say, "You better not touch him." What am I gonna do? I will jump over this gate. So it's Philly, man. It's Philly. You gotta love it.
So we were just talking about where the level that Jalen plays on, right? So I want to bring something up that just came across here, right? We were talking about their first 5 seasons, right? Talking about total touchdowns. He's right behind Patrick Mahomes and Dan Marino for the first 5 seasons. That's more than Josh Allen. He's more than Joe Burrow. So I think Jalen is in pretty good company. And just so people are clear, Jalen Hurts has 33 rushing touchdowns. That's why he's there. So like, I get it. He has that, but I think that he has put himself in a position where he can have it in these conversations. He still has to show us over the long haul that he's it, but I think he's in a good place to potentially put himself into, to be one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. He's never going to be the guy. never going to be the guy, and he doesn't care to be the guy. But stop sitting there tearing this guy down, acting like he's like, he's playing like Dan Orlovsky or something like that. He's not. He's a different quarterback, and I still think he's the best when he is in that RPO system, and we've seen that this past week when he has some of those design runs, when he's using all of his weapons in cohesiveness, not just forcing the ball to AJ, not just going down the field to Devontae Smith. When you're using your wide receivers, your tight end, and you get at least decent production out of your running back, you see what this offense is supposed to be. He's never going to be the guy. He doesn't want to be the guy, but don't be sitting there telling me he's not one of the best guys in this league. He's not number one. He's not number two. Not number three. He doesn't need to be. But all this talk that he's being carried. He put any name here. They would do this. They would do that with this team. I don't want to hear it. I think Ben has already said it. They're saying this kid's made for this city and this offense. I know Marvin is hard on him, and we should be critical of him when he has bad games. I want that to be said. We should be critical of these guys when they're not up to par. And I'm sure he, as Eddie was just sitting there talking to the chat, I'm sure Jalen was harder on himself than anything that came out of any fan, any critic's mouth this past week. He was probably 100 times harder on himself, but he shows up when those lights are brighter on him. Not a lot of these guys do. Go ahead, Marvin.
Listen, Dan Marino, even though he is in the Jets division, he was one of my favorite players as a kid. Dan was the man, and he's one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. The fact that Jalen Hurts is in any conversation or any category near or with Dan Marino blows my mind. And I think what it is, Steve, and I've told you before, man, with Jalen Hurts, it's really the style of play and the emphasis that's put on their line play, D-line and defense, especially in their championship season or the years that you guys have won the conference. I think for the casual fan or the casual Philly fan, the person who's not watching the Eagles 24/7, when you watch Sports Center and you look at the clips, again, they're showing you the defense, they're showing you Saquon, and they're showing you the tush push. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that as I try to think through this thing and try to be objective about why don't I love this kid? How come I can't just, as a football fan, have a certain admiration for this guy? I mean, I do, but not to the level, of some of these Philly fans. And I think a lot of it is just me being a fan and allowing the narrative and allowing, the hot takes to impact me. I really mean it, you know what I'm saying? Because when you put the numbers up there, it's tough, man. It's just like, how come I'm not seeing this or I'm not adding this into the equation here? How come I'm looking at Jalen Hurts and I'm thinking tush push? Listen, if they give him a statue outside that stadium, it'd be him, in the tush push position. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe is based upon the narrative, man. But listen, I know what the numbers say. The numbers say he gets it done. The ring on his finger says he gets it done. You know what I'm saying? So he is definitely better than most people give him credit for. I think that he is a perfect fit based upon his demeanor and style of play. I'm just one of them guys. It took Peyton Manning almost 10 years for me to love him, for me to have a certain respect for him. And I mean that, I'm one of those guys. You got to really, really, really show me, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I'll admit, I probably have a little bit of a prejudice because he got his position took in college. You know what I'm saying? He did. He was, out of all them quarterbacks I had in that room, he really was the bottom one, I felt, coming out. So I'm making him go through an extra hard gauntlet for whatever reason. I don't know. But he gets it done, man. He gets it done, and he's doing it in a way that we haven't seen traditionally with these quarterbacks. And for me, I think that's probably the issue, man. But Steve, your boy can play. He can play. The numbers say that. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't tell you everything, and numbers can deceive you. They can deceive you. Believe me, they can. But no, he's a baller, man. He's a baller. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of these people that really need to get over his different style of play. Because I compare him to a Marino, right? And because they're not close to the same in regards to their style of play, and I look at Marino as That's what a quarterback is. You know what I'm saying? I look in the same way I look at Steve McNair. Same way I look at Lamar. These guys have an ability to throw the ball, play from the pocket. And I'm not saying that Jalen can't, but again, I think the way he's portrayed and what you see the most, is what's impacting me. I got to do better with that.
All right, Ben, your thoughts. Jalen Hurts is now officially in the first 5 seasons one of the top 3 quarterbacks as far as touchdown production goes.
Jalen Hurts to me is he's not everybody's cup of tea, but this is why Jalen Hurts to me was always going to be good, and I'm not surprised at what he does. Jalen Hurts did lose his spot at Alabama, Marvin, but because they wanted to go to the air raid. So what did he do? He said, "Look, I'm gonna get out the way." Tua comes in the second half of the national championship. He has the greatest throw we've ever seen in him to Devonta Smith, and they turned the lights out. The next year, Tua starts the whole year. They get to the SEC championship game, and Tua stinks it up. Who had to come in and win that game? Jalen. Jalen came in second half, won the SEC championship game. After the season, went over to Oklahoma and was second. He was runner-up in the Heisman Trophy voting. He was runner-up, right? We were talking about Matthew Stafford earlier. How many first-team or second-team All-Pros do Matthew Stafford have? The answer is 0. Matthew Stafford has never been a first-team All-Pro. He's never been a second-team All-Pro, right? Jalen Hurts has been a second-team All-Pro, but only one quarterback was better than him that year. Jalen Hurts doesn't do it the conventional way. And once again, Jalen said, look, the reason why I don't got to be the best player on my team because I've never had to be. But I've always been the most important. I was the most important when I was at Alabama because I was 26-2 and got benched. I don't know many guys go 26-2 and get benched, but he did. I lost a national championship to Deshaun Watson. That's who I lost to. You know who beat the brakes off of Tua in the national championship? Beat him like a drum? Trevor Lawrence. That would be Clemson quarterbacks. Oh, wait a minute. That's the greatest quarterbacks ever came through Clemson. Here's the thing about Jalen Hurts. You know what everybody's hoping? This is the real reason. People hope Philly do something stupid and let Jalen go. He would be a free agent for 10 minutes. Somebody will snatch Jalen Hurts up like that. Because when we talk about quarterback play in the NFL, what are we really talking about? Consistency, check. Don't turn the ball over that much. Outside the last couple of weeks ago, check. Make the right play, check. And that's what he did at Alabama. He went to Oklahoma to prove I'm not afraid to throw it. Ask CeeDee Lamb. Because he threw to him. Who was his coach at Oklahoma? Lincoln Riley. That was his coach. I'm just telling y'all, Jalen go, dude, I got coached by Nick Saban, the greatest. Lincoln Riley, who was at SC. I remember when he went to SC. Marvin, I didn't know you then, but they was going crazy when Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma to go to SC, right? I'm just saying it ain't the conventional way. But here's the thing, though, Marvin. Somebody would have said, hey, Marvin, how you play fullback? I don't play like him now. I play like me. Right. That's how you're supposed to play. I can admire what this guy do. I play like me. And ask Dan Marino. The only person who wouldn't trade their MVP for a Super Bowl is Cam Newton. And I'm going to say this again. Cam, I'm not going to call you a liar because I don't call people liars, but you ain't telling the truth. The reason why you saying that is because I know I ain't going to get another shot at one. Right? So, hey, Jalen got 59 rushing touchdowns. If rushing touchdowns wasn't that important, why was it when Josh Allen broke Cam Newton record? Guess who was going to break Cam Newton record? Jalen. Jalen going to end up with probably 80-something touchdowns. And what I'm saying is, right, Saquon ain't having a good year this year. Are the Eagles still good? A.J. Brown ain't having that good of a year this year. Are the Eagles still good? Yep. Jalen Carter ain't having that good of a year. Are the Eagles? Yeah, why? Because they got Jalen. And Jalen said, I'm never going to be in the MVP voting because they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But you ask Phillip Rivers, you ask Joe Burrow, you ask Baker Mayfield, you ask Jared Goff, you ask Lamar Jackson. Dude, would you want to have Jalen Hurts' career right now? Hell yeah. Would I want Jalen Hurts' career? Yes. But you got 2 MVPs. Okay. Aaron Rodgers has 4 regular season MVPs. He got 1 Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying that they both get invited to the same Super Bowl reunion party because they both got one. Oh, that's right. Aaron Rodgers got a Super Bowl MVP. So does Jalen. Right? So does Jalen. If Jalen get one more MVP in the Super Bowl, he'll have the same number of Super Bowl MVPs as Peyton Manning. I'm telling you, man, people just don't like Jalen. They just don't like
They
it.
don't. And
But,
now Marvin
and
was
I'm not
blown
saying,
away.
Marvin, you one of those people. I'm just saying.
Marvin was blown away by the stat I just showed him. Now listen to this one. You know, Jalen is now tied with Josh Allen and Drake May for most 25-plus yards passing touchdowns in the NFL this season. But wait, I thought Jalen's having a terrible year. What's going on? Which one is it?
Well,
Someone explain this one to me. I can't get it. I don't get it.
We got to stop listening to Nick Wright of the world. Nick Wright has a whole little, you know, he got a whole little village of trolls that they just send them out. Because what I'm saying is, I mean, Marvin, you know this. In order for the Jets to win, they got to coach. What they gonna have? A quarterback. They gonna have to have one. And when they get one, not if, when they get the last time the Jets had a quarterback, what school he went to? He go to SC. What was his name? Mark Sanchez.
That's what I was about to say. That's his boy right there.
but what I'm saying is,
that's the last time they won a playoff game too. Remember that?
I mean, Rex. We thought Rex Ryan was a great coach and everything, right? It all went to that ain't Rick. It just happens. But sometimes, who was going to take it to the next level ain't who we thought. We've seen Donovan McNabb, right? I'm not old enough to know about Ron Jaworski. Obviously, Randall Cunningham, right? And those guys was rich. They got right there. Jalen said, "Look, I'm just getting us all the way there. That's it. That's all I've done." And if it was Saquon, Jalen Carter, and all the AJ Brown, they would. Somebody said, "Who you think won Super Bowl MVP?" Saquon. It was Jalen. When all those guys on the biggest game, because that's one game, I get it. But on the biggest game, who was the best player out there? It was Jalen, and it wasn't close. It wasn't with Patrick Mahomes on the other side.
Remember, it was 40-6 as the third quarter was coming to the end, and we already seen what happened with Kansas City this year. They've officially broken that dynasty. We're gonna see what they look like next season. I want to, we're down to the last like eight minutes or so. I want to real quick get through two topics. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but the NFL announced they are investing $32 million into a professional flag football league. I guess this is very much a part of what's going on with the Olympics in a few years, being that flag football is going to be allowed, and they're going to allow NFL athletes to be a part of that. Let's start off with Marvin on this one. How excited are you to see the NFL put their hand firmly into flag football now?
Well, again, I'm a football nut, a huge football fan. I have been my whole life. The idea of more football is always good to me. I like that. Listen, this is smart. This is just a business move. This is why they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation looking at $25 billion this year. The NFL wants to expand, whether they expand playing in Europe and playing in South America, whether they expand into bringing women into the game, through refs and through flag. They want to expand and just grow their brand. It just makes sense because at the end of the day, anything that's successful with American football, whether it's flag or high school or whatever it may be, they need to be attached to that. And they need to attach their name to it. Flag football is a growing thing, especially in this new information era where we understand CTE and head injuries, and a lot of people who are impacted by that. Parents who want to see their kids take other choices, who love football, and I think I've heard that I've seen where football for youths has gone down in regards to the number of participants, and I would attribute that directly to what's happening CTE wise, or at least that information, that whole narrative that's been pushed to people. That's how I'll put that. So no, this is smart. I think this keeps people engaged. I think it keeps people in football. The fact that the Olympics have picked it up as a sport is huge for the NFL, in my opinion. So this is the NFL investing into the game that will ultimately come back and continue to feed them. I love it. I love all the expansion moves that NFL has made or talked about or that we've seen. And I think it's just a positive move, man. And it's consistent with what the NFL is about. It's not football. It's making money. They're no different from McDonald's or Mercedes-Benz or whoever it may be. Their number one objective is to make money. It's a business. It's not a game. Believe that, people.
And your thoughts?
Not surprised at all. The NFL understands that, listen, we don't want some of it. We want it all. We want the 40 acres. We want the mule. We want the seed. We want it all. Because the NFL is saying this. Before I know basketball was talking about international. I know baseball got a problem. I know NHL got a problem. Football ain't got a problem. We add to what we doing. And you just said it too, Marvin. How do we bring the ladies in? Flag football. And when someone says, and as soon as somebody say, man, you ain't no real player, no, you just mad because you could make a team. This is flag. That eliminates a lot of excuses, don't it? Oh, you ain't good enough to be out here. No. It gets people active. It gives people something to look forward to doing. And let me tell you what the NFL is really doing. We are competitors, boy. We love to compete. We'll compete at anything. This is supposed to be a regular dice game. It's supposed to be a regular chess game. Man, why y'all doing push-ups? Because that's what we just take it to another level. So the NFL is smart, man. Give the NFL. The NFL has the best business model you ever seen, and that's power and control. I want all the power, and I'm gonna control it all. I'm gonna control all the pieces, and I'm not mad at it. That's how America is run. So I'm not mad at it. I am looking forward to people. Marvin, me and you are the rarest of the rare. We got to do it with pads on. We know how rare that is. Most people ain't gonna get to do that. But a flag football league with a bunch of grown men who got 9 to 5s talking track, I see you. Yeah, okay. I see you on Saturday, and we get it. Don't get no better. Now, as far as former players, we might be on the sideline giving tips. That's about it. It ain't gonna take but one. Nope. ACL's done. Nope. I'm not doing that. But I am happy that the league is doing it. The league, you see when the league. Remember we were talking earlier about SC going to SoFi. It's about when the league. They know when to roll it out. We ain't gonna wait. Because the Olympics are coming. If that don't matter, why did Ice Cube have the big 3? I'm telling you, man, people that make moves, they saying, I want to position it right. Look at how many former players he got in the big 3. So yeah, man. To them guys that still want to, they think they got one more season in them. Go on out there and let a 20-something-year-old tear your ankles up. So go on out there with him. A guy that don't need you out there with ankle braces on and you got your ankle taped because your wife just happened to be a trainer at the high school. Get your behind over here with us and talk trash from the sidelines. But yeah, the NFL is showing why it's ahead of everybody. That's why Jerry Jones, he ain't the richest owner. His team is worth more than everybody's. The Dallas Cowboys are worth more than every other team in America. That's by design. That's why he do interviews every week. That's why on Sunday, his son, Stephen Jones, was sitting there with a freaking walkie-talkie. Who is he talking to? Mommy, can you hear me over? Daddy won't talk to me. The Joneses are weird, man. The Joneses, and Keeping Up with the Joneses should be a reality TV show. It should be starring Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, who eats sausage biscuits with a bunch of salt on it. No jelly, no cheese, just a sausage biscuit with salt on it. But he gonna live to be 180 years old.
All right. Well, we're down to our last 2 minutes. Real quick, last topic. The NFL collective or MLB collective bargaining agreement ends December 26th of next year. This time next year, are we looking at a Major League Baseball lockout? Ben, real quick, your thoughts.
I hope we do, just to put the pressure on these owners and say y'all got the worst commissioner in baseball. Force him out. He is the worst. So I hope they do it just for that.
Ben, all right. I love that one. Marvin, your thoughts real quick. Is Major League Baseball headed towards a strike with the collective bargaining agreement coming up?
Yeah, a lot can be done between now and then. I would hope not for the fans. That's what I'll say. But these owners can be stubborn. The players need to be stubborn at times. So if they can't be civil about this and just work out what's obvious, it's possible, man. But I hope not. I want to see games being played on time and see these stadiums filled up.
And Eddie's comments, I'm going to say this much: if there's a salary cap, they're absolutely going to go to strike. They're absolutely going to go to strike. They play 162 games a year. That's not even including playoffs. We're down to the last minute here. Final thoughts, Marvin?
Final thoughts. Getting ready to watch some college football this week. See what Alabama does. Catch me Marvin on the mic on social media handles, and with the South Florida Tribune, Tuesday nights, Wednesday mornings, Wednesday nights, and Saturday mornings. Also catch me on Locked On USC twice a week.
All right, Ben. 20 seconds.
Man, make sure you guys are watching Kennesaw State versus Western Michigan now over there now in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. You might see my nephew Troupe on his back. He might get some burn. I'm going to be looking to see if my nephew gets some burn over there in Myrtle Beach.
All right, guys. Another fun one in the books. Squeezed in just about everything we possibly could. Not too much else to say. Just, appreciate everyone tuning in. Eddie, make sure you keep doing your thing. You're going to win this giveaway, brother. Catch you guys later.